everyone, and welcome to another episode of What the Why with Barbara Ann on RVN Television. If you haven't seen us before, our show features conversations with diverse leaders from all walks of life about why they do what they do and how they figured things out. Maybe you're sick and tired of feeling sick and tired, or you feel stuck and want to get unstuck, whether it's in your business, job, or life. All of our guests have something in common with you. They felt similarly at some point in their lives, and they decided to do something about it. And today is no exception, although it's a little bit of a unique one. Please join me in welcoming Shariann Tom. Sherry's a 5-time cancer survivor from lymphoma, gastrointestinal, stomal tumors. She's also the co-founder of the Cancer Journey Institute, the nation's first cancer coach training company, which is also accredited through the International Coaching Federation for training. At the Institute, she uses her extensive experience of 20 plus years as a cancer journey traveler, a master cancer journey coach, and coach trainer, and successful entrepreneur to train and support others as well as their loved ones in their cancer journeys. Shariann, oh my gosh, she's been recognized so many times over. But here we go. She was awarded the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society Man or Woman of the Year in 2010 as an honoree of the year. She's the author and creator of the Cancer Journey Companion, a collection of guided imagery and visualizations. And she co-authored the book, The Call of Cancer, A Loving Pathway to Wholeness, Healing, and Transformation. She's been interviewed on our local station, KGO Channel 7, on View from the Bay, featured in a Stanford Medicine magazine article titled After Cancer's Cure, What's Left to Heal? And showcased and interviewed for the Global Cancer Summit in 2019. She's also featured as the keynote speaker at the Sutter Health California Pacific Medical Center's Cancer Conference, and she collaborated and contributed to the book I Am With You, Love Letters to Cancer Patients, and participated in the I'm going to probably butcher this name, Loswick, the Chi Center documentary, as the go-to coach and trainer for people going through these experiences. Shariann lives in the San Francisco Bay Area of California, from where she joins us today via Zoom. So I'm so excited for you all to meet her. I've been looking forward to this for months. So without further ado, please give a round of applause and join us in welcoming Shariann Tom to our show. So yay! Here's your round of applause. So welcome, welcome, welcome. So, as you know, and as our viewers know, after we read through that bio, everybody's always curious. Well, so I'm going to ask you, Shariann, what did you want to be when you were growing up?
That's a great question. And actually, I wrote that a little bit in the book, The Call of Cancer, because there's messages when we were young about what we wanted to be, and I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be that teacher that loved her students, and I would line up my stuffed animals on my bed as my classroom. And I would tape a piece of white paper to the mirror that was across from them and pretend that I was their teacher, and I would teach them whatever I learned that day in school. But it was like I could lovingly teach and like care for my students. And, you know, I have gone a long distance from that time. And now I find myself, I'm teaching what I learned in life to my coaches to make them just stellar cancer journey coaches.
Mm-hmm. Now, in between there was a lot that happened, right? So how did you get from the little girl who was teaching everything she learned at school to all of her stuffed animals to the incredible woman that you've become, who teaches people how to coach as well as coaches people who are on a cancer journey, and as well as their family members who are on that journey with them?
Wow. Just to pause for a moment and look back at that and being reminded by you of that little girl who wanted so much to help and nurture.
Yeah.
Ooh, what a journey. I thought that the answer was the American dream and going to corporate. So I was a really good Asian daughter, girl. And I got that. I went to school. I got my degree. I went into the workforce. I started working for corporate and met my husband, had 2 kids. I really believed in that Norman Rockwell picture of what life was supposed to be, family and career and all of that. But life had a different path for me. And in 1998, cancer showed up on my door and knocked me completely off my path and said, we've got something else in store for you. And at that point, I was just like, so you have what the why? I had what the?
Yeah. Which is actually what the W kind of stood for at one point, but so you had the what the, now what? What do you do?
Right, exactly. And I did what, I'm such a good rule follower. I did what the rule said to do. So I listened to my doctor, and I was like a football quarterback. I guess I can say that with the Super Bowl happening just around the corner. But I took the ball and I ran and I made a touchdown, and I looked up and I said, okay, am I done? And for that first cancer, it was like, whew, okay, I did it. I made it to the finish line, or the goalpost. I'm not really a football watcher, so to use that analogy is kind of funny for me. And then a year after, it was like, hello, we're back.
Oh.
Did you not get the message? So yes, I went through that one, did everything again, rule follower, but this time I'm like, I think I'm going to add some extra spice. I'm going to do some complementary medicine there, and maybe try this thing over here along with the traditional medicine. And I'm like, this is it. This is going to be the one that gets me through it, and it's going to be gone forever. And I pretty much said, I'm going to do, anything and everything that I could.
Yeah.
And that was good for a while until, hello, Shariann, we're back. And I was devastated. It would be way too light a word. But let's use that one because I can't think of another one. And just knocked on my butt and said, again, what the why?
Mm-hmm.
And started this, I think that was really the awakening of, okay, I can't control that, but I can control what I choose.
Yeah.
And instead of just doing what the doctor said, I listened to my body. I listened to my emotions. I was listening to me, but not without help. I, at that point, had entered into the whole realm of life coaching. It was very new back then. And I was well trained and decided, well, what do I know? I know corporate, so I'll go back and I'll be a corporate coach. And so I teamed up with 2 other people that I just felt like we could be this lovely trio. And we started a company. And for 7 years, we really tried to make a difference in corporate America with coaching. And I think that we did, except that along the way, cancer kept tapping me on the back. So I went through the 3rd time. I went through the 4th time. And then I finally said, you know what? I think there's something here for me. I think I need to not be giving away and following the rules and doing everything over there in corporate, I really need to embrace what I've become an expert at, and which is the cancer journey. Yeah. Like, I really got what it was like, not just physically, because I was lucky enough to have a great medical team that surrounded me and held me through the journey and the treatment journey. But there wasn't really somebody there to hold me mentally. And when I say mentally, I'm talking about my mindset, the fear story that would come up, and the projecting of the future of this shadow of cancer that was always looming. That was the fear of recurrence. Because, right, I've already had it so many times. And I wanted to understand the emotional swirl that I was going through. It was like a tornado. And I couldn't really grasp, like, okay, one day I'm fine and feeling okay. And in the next 2 hours, all of a sudden, I've just plummeted because, hey, that cancer thing. So I really understood emotionally what we go through during the cancer journey. And then spirit-wise, that inner flame, the aliveness of me, it can also be the connection I have with something larger than me, but that part of me that was my internal aliveness, like this little flicker of a flame, where I'm an extrovert, if you couldn't tell.
No, really?
I love being out there and talking, and yet during all of this, it was internal. I felt dampened down. I felt little, and it was like, what's happening to my spirit? And so I went searching in so many places to find out, how do I be with these fears and my mindset, and how do I change that, and what really serves me? What I learned was present moment was where my power was, where I was always giving away that present moment power to thinking about, so what am I going to do in the future? That kept bringing me back to what's happening now. What do I have now? And then when I was searching for real emotional support, it was, oh, I'm an emotional being. That's what makes me human. So let me feel these feelings that are here. How do I do that? Now there was some help there too, but it's like I found little pockets of people and situations and places to go that would help me. And I'm like, well, why do I have to go searching here, there, and everywhere? Why isn't there some place that will just scoop me up and know that, yes, you're on a cancer journey. This is what to expect. We can help you.
And that's
there wasn't.
Yeah, I was going to say, and that's one of the things I love so much, is that you created what you needed, and others found you. I mean, you know, it's interesting. Since coach to coach, you know, there's kind of this idea that coaches can coach anything, you know, because we're supposed to be in blameless discernment and non-judgment and everything else. But with certain things, when people know that you've walked a similar path, that coaching can be so much, if not exponentially more impactful for them, because you can empathize and relate with them in a different way. So with everything that you've been through and realizing that you were going to create something that you know you needed, that's still a big leap. So how did you decide, okay, I'm going for this. I'm going to take on this project. It doesn't matter what else has gone on, what could happen. Today, this is what needed. I'm going to go do it. So how did you decide to do that?
Oh, that's a really good question. I felt this calling, and it was fueled by this emptiness of, wow, I didn't have this. So I went searching for it. And so then I created for me what I was seeing out there needed. Exactly what you said. And I'm like, okay, well, let's just try this out. So I went to the local cancer center, one of the top 5 in the country. It's the University of California, San Francisco. And I said, hi, I have something. Can I share it with you? And I didn't expect them to go, oh, this is the most wonderful thing since sliced bread. I just wanted to talk to someone to see if I was on track, that I wasn't the only one. I think that's really the impetus. I wasn't the only one going through this, because it was such a lonely journey, because I was the only one in my body, and everybody wants me to be happy and move on. And I'm like, why is there still this hole and this calling to help others? So I went to UCSF and pitched my offering, and they just went, wow, this is great. So how are you going to help more than just a handful of people? You've got this program all thought out, Shariann. How are you going to scale it? And I went, oh, I'm one person.
Yeah.
I can probably help 20 people. I can help a room full of people. But that doesn't even touch the amount of people that are out there walking around with cancer.
Yeah. And if
just a startling statistic that just was released, I think, in the last few weeks, is that in the United States, we will cross that 2 million mark. 2 million people will be diagnosed this year in the United States.
So, believe it or not, we're already actually just slightly past the halfway point where we take a break for our sponsors. So when we come back, let's talk about how you're going to help more than 20 people and what you've built and will forever be your legacy after we come back from our break. So come back to more. Come back to more with What the Why. Welcome back to What the Why with Barbara Ann and today's amazing guest, Shariann Tom. And before the break, she had approached, I think it was UC San Francisco, because they have one of the best cancer centers in the world, about launching a cancer coaching program. And you yourself could only do maybe 20 people, because people don't realize, like, full-time coaching practice is like 10 to 15 a month max because of the hours and everything else. So, but they needed you, which is something you weren't expecting. So, oh my gosh, you're presented with this opportunity. What do you do?
Right, exactly right. It's either I play small or I go big. And so I spoke to really the person who was my very first coach, and I said, here's this idea I have. And without missing a beat, she says, I'm in. And together we created the Cancer Journey Institute, which is just kind of like the highlight of my cancer journeys, because one of the things that I created when I was on the journey was the Cancer Journey Roadmap. It was something that we had done in the corporate work, and I took that model and I morphed it for the cancer journey, and it was right on. We would hit every single milestone. Weren't always happy milestones because there's something called the pit, but there's a way out of the pit. Mm-hmm. And so we created that, and I got to see the transformation of individuals as they were going through it. And then we said, well, we need to train some coaches, because there's just the two of us. There's so many, as the statistics that you and I had talked about right before the break. So many. And worldwide, we're talking 10 million plus. I know we're all still very kind of impacted by COVID, The cancer is still there, and it hasn't gone away, and it is increasing.
Yeah.
So what do? We start training coaches, and the gift that COVID actually gave us was the opportunity to do it via Zoom. Zoom actually helped us expand our reach. And so now we have trained coaches all around the world that can do this work in their geography, their region, their country, their people in their language. And it feels wonderful to know that people are being supported, not just physically, that's been there, but the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual, because it's all interconnected. You can't heal someone without looking at the whole of them.
100%. Absolutely. So you've founded this amazing entity. Where do you go from here?
Well, the book was a big step for us too.
Okay.
We're hoping to have that translated in many languages, but for English speakers, thank you. For English speakers, it's there, and we hope that it is a guide. The Cancer Journey Roadmap is laid out with all of its stages and phases, so that's there to help anybody who's been diagnosed or who's been on their journey for a while. It's still applicable because it's about the inner part.
Yeah.
The mental, the emotional, and the spiritual. That hopefully will increase and reach even further and help. But there's the chance to be a cancer journey coach if that resonates with you, to be one of those. Right now I can't think of another word, but angels that just walk with the cancer individuals to help that individual heal in whatever way that they need to, paying attention to that inner work stuff.
Yeah.
What else? What's next? We're really helping right now with a new program that we introduced called After Cancer, Survivor Journey. And After Cancer, it's called Beyond Cancer, is for the metastatic individuals who are still on the journey and feel like that doesn't ever stop.
Yeah.
Is this program that really scoops them up and helps answer the questions: who are you now? What is it that you bring uniquely to the world that the world needs? And where do you go from there? So you ask me, where do I go from here? I'm supporting, shepherding, allowing those that come after me to kind of stand on my shoulders so that they don't have to reinvent the wheel or work so hard. They get to just be with them and finding what brings them alive and what the world needs from them, so that cancer doesn't continue to loom on their shoulders. They get to live, as my message was from my cancer, the present moment.
Wow.
And bring your gifts to that moment right now.
Yeah. And believe it or not, that's the perfect note to end on, because we're at time already. Always, there are times I'm like, why can't we do more? But for those who are interested in learning more, whether it's about the angels out there that are part of graduates from from the Cancer Training Institute, or coaches, because a lot of coaches do watch this show. Shout out, coaches, who would like to learn more about becoming certified, and how is the best way for them to reach out to you?
Well, they can go to our website, which is thecancerjourney.com. And they could also reach us by sending an email to info@thecancerjourney.com. Those are the two best ways. We'll get the message and we'll be right on you. We have a wonderful team that this is our heart work. This is our life's work. So come on in, even if you just want to talk and hear more about what we do. We're there.
Awesome. Shariann, it really has been an honor to have you on the show, as it has been all my guests. Don't get me wrong, guests. But no, it really, I'm so glad, especially with the weather being so crazy in California, that we were able to make this happen. And thank you for sharing your own personal journey and all of the amazing things that you and the graduates of the Institute are doing for the lives of those who are on this journey and those who are traveling the journey side by side with them as family members and friends. So now regarding our upcoming guests, as you can see, I keep saying you really don't want to miss any of our guests. Well, this is why I keep saying you really don't want to miss any of our guests or any of the conversations we have, because we've got other coaches and business owners and tech experts, entrepreneurs, athletes, military veterans, people who overcame seemingly insurmountable challenges like Shariann. When I say you really don't want to miss them or anything that they have to say about their journeys, you really don't want to miss them. And if you have missed any of our past guests, the great news is all of our shows, new as well as past, are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, on demand at RVN Television, and they also air on Roku. You just have to go to the rvntelevision.com and find the What the Why page. You have so many viewing choices these days, so thank you very much for watching our show, and please tell a friend or colleague about us. And also, please remember, whether you're looking to make any changes in your life, no matter how big or small, please tune in again for more inspirational, informative, illuminating conversations with guests like Shariann and others who've figured out that what they were doing was not quite what they were meant to do. They went on a journey to overcome whatever challenges or obstacles lay in their path, to find their purpose and live it.